All right, I'm starting with this slide as a reminder that you are responsible for any content already taught to remind yourself of that content. So when I covered hydrothermal vents, I reminded you that this is where chemosynthesis occurs, which, in case you didn't know or you need a refresher, it is where the vents release heat, carbon dioxide, sulfur compounds, and bacteria convert it to glucose and some form of hydrogen sulfide. Okay? Huh? You're making your own notes. Remember, we started, and you started with aquatic biomes, and we talked about marine zones, and now we're at the bottom of the deep ocean, which is called the abyss. And on the abyss, you have hydrothermal vents, which cause chemosynthesis, which allow for chemosynthesis to occur. So what does that tell you about this part of the biome? It's definitely hot. What else? There's no sunlight. It's definitely going to smell because sulfur smells. That is the biggest misconception. There's not a lot of life. Wherever there's the start of a food chain, you have primary productivity. And where there's primary productivity, you have life. So I want you to immediately shift gears, because there's no productivity in mesopelagic, there's no productivity in bathyal, but there's productivity in the abyss because of the hydrothermal vents and because of chemosynthesis. Okay? All right. So, besides the layers of the marine zone, there's some part of the ocean where salt water meets fresh water. Anybody know what that's called? So the water is called brackish water, but the area is called a what? Bays are an example. Nobody? Estuary. Where salt water and fresh water bodies of water meet, they form estuaries. Estuaries are made up of brackish water. That's the correct statement, which is not too fresh, not too salt. It is half marine, half fresh. So yes, I wouldn't say it's a marine zone. I would say it's an aquatic area. Estuaries could be an aquatic biome. You've got freshwater biomes, you've got saltwater biomes, and you have an in-between biome, which is an estuary. Which is made up of brackish water. Now the next slide, I'm going to talk about diversity. I don't know why that bubble popped up there. Okay? So you title this Marine Diversity, and I'm going to list the 3 most diverse areas of the marine biome. Okay? The number 1 is coral reefs, which is AKA what zone? Yes. What's another way you could describe neritic zone? Definitely the most diverse. But another term that I told you, sometimes neritic zone is not referenced and intertidal is not referenced, so they call it the coastal zone. Yes. But I need you to know that the neritic zone is where coral reefs are found, and it is the number 1 most diverse area in all of the marine biome. You could find almost every species in this area. Sharks come in and out of here. Millions in types of fish. So much producers. So much diversity. What's this? We just talked about it. Estuaries. So where freshwater and saltwater meet, because you have both freshwater and saltwater plants that can live there, there's a lot of diversity, a lot of producers, a lot of primary productivity, and wherever you have primary productivity, you have diversity. And then the third, the abyss, where the hydrothermal vents are. Now, we kind of jumped through here, so I'm going to go back. That's all I'm talking about today, by the way. But when I did these zones, And where are my zones? The oceanic zones are right here. And we talked about the hadal zone. I want to remind you that everything below the abyss is the abyss. In certain areas of the abyss, you have a drop on the floor, which is called a what? A trench. What formed it? Convergent plate boundaries. Remind yourself of that. Because again, I told you, we review all content throughout exploring new one. Okay, so convergent boundaries shift, make these trenches form, and these trenches are found in the deep ocean. And all you need to know about the hadal zone is it is a trench within the abyss. Okay, which means there's no light in there either. Once you hit the abyss, aphotic.